So, it's been a while since I have done a Magic the Gathering deck profile, and the reason of that being is I kind of wanted to get away from the whole TCG, CCG, OCG scene for a while. Well, ever since I've moved into my new place, I have been able to finally look through all my cards and see what I have, and what you're seeing is a main deck and a side deck. So, and I know this might not make sense to you. A lot of the cards in here, I don't play modern. I don't play standard. It's too expensive, and I just don't feel like wasting my money and buying cards that I will only play once in a blue moon. Using the cards that I've got, maybe buying a couple here or there, singles, not packs. Granted, I did get lucky, and I bought 4 of these, and I pulled this. I pulled this bad boy. Hour Devastation being the newest set. I don't buy cards that often, because I have bills to pay. I'm an adult now. Yay! Woohoo! Insert sarcasm. But I thought that maybe I should go through all my decks and pretty much redo them. Not build them to the standards that people playing modern or standard would play. Now, I could, in theory, create a very well-rounded Pauper deck. And for those of you who do not know what Pauper is a format where you have all common cards, like Downsize here, for example. It's a common printed and returned to Ravnica. Ravnica being one of my favorite planes in Magic the Gathering, being one of my favorite sets, the original Ravnica and the second and the Return to Ravnica. Those blocks, absolutely loved and I thoroughly enjoyed Ravnica. I loved the guild theme and the decks. You built decks to a theme of a guild, like Downsize is part of the Is It theme, because it's got Overload, and where you change target creature, or like where Downsize says target creature you don't control gets -4/-0 till end of turn. But if you overload it for 2 and a blue, you change the word target to each. So yeah, I absolutely love the overload thing, and if you can build an Is It deck and make it work, it's great. But yeah, what you're going to see right now is my Sliver deck. And Slivers, wait. Slivers, why do you have Anissa in the sideboard and an Bolas God Pharaoh in the main? Well, I will explain that later, but right now let's get on to the deck profile of the main deck. Like my Magic the Gathering mat, thank you. And yeah, don't mind that writing up there. That's just something I tried to start, and then I was just like, forget it. So we're going to start with our Planeswalkers. We run 1 of Bolas God Pharaoh, 1 of Bolas Planeswalker, and 1 of Nissa Nature's Artisan. Now, why do I run 2 of each Bolas? Well, Bolas's effects are just devastating. Starting with the Planeswalker, +3, destroy target non-creature permanent, which means I could pop someone's land if I want to. Say I'm playing against my friend Mitch's Endless Artifact deck, and he has a Cloud Post out. Yep, pop, bye. Goodbye, Cloud Post. Neg 2 ability, gain control of target creature. Well, let's see. He has a Blightsteel Colossus. Yeah, I neg 2. Your Blightsteel Colossus is mine. Your artifacts are no longer indestructible. And his neg 9 deals 7 damage to target player. They discard 7 cards and sacrifice 7 permanents. So that's just something it's devastating to get off. And I've actually been able to get off. You can get this from the Johnny vs. Bolas starter deck. Moving on to Nissa's Nature's Artisan. +3, you gain 3 life. Neg 4. Basically, you put all the lands onto the battlefield and the rest into your hand when you reveal the top 2 cards. So it's a win-win. Either you put 2 lands into the battlefield, or 1 land, or 2 creatures in your hand. It's just amazing. Although it is a neg 4, yes, you kind of gotta be weary of that, because you can attack a Planeswalker just as well as you can attack a player. So instead of attacking a player, you can say, I swing 6 at Nissa. Because the Planeswalker rule, Planeswalkers are basically other players. And I'm sorry, I gotta I've got the munchies, and I'm eating the Reese's Minis while doing this as well. And it's I love Reese's. I love chocolate. Dr. Pepper, if you'd like to sponsor me, that'd be great. Excuse me. I love Dr. Pepper too. Can't get enough of it. But back to business. Nico Bolas God Pharaoh is just overpowered. There is no need to explain Nico Bolas God Pharaoh. Neg 12. Exile each non-land permanent your opponent controls. Memnarchs, Mer Enforcers, Etch Champions, other Planeswalkers. It's just, oh my god, yes. Yes. You can mill your opponent. Opponent +2 ability. Target opponent exiles top card from his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Till the end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So, basically, you mill your opponent, and let's say you mill their big creature, or you mill their planeswalker. Let's say they're playing an Ajani Vengeance. And I actually have an Ajani Vengeance in my Boros deck. So, let's say I'm playing against my Boros deck. I'm playtesting. I +2. I mill the Ajani. Oh, guess what? I now have an Ajani Planeswalker. It's just... oh, yes. Yes. +1, they exile 2 cards from their hand. Okay. Neg 4, it deals 7 damage to target opponent and creatures and opponent... or creature and opponent controls. So it's still got his neg 9 ability from the Planeswalker, but God Pharaoh, oh my god. It is just amazing. So that's the Planeswalker deal. I run 3. It's a 61 card deck, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to the base of the Sliver. Starting out to basically ramp the mana, you have to play 4 Gemhide Sliver. You can also play 4 Mana Weft Sliver, but I don't have 4 Mana Weft Sliver. I don't feel like buying 4 Mana Weft Sliver. Mainly because, thank you to my friend Tiny for basically building me the Sliver deck, and I've just improved upon it, and I did make it worse at one point. I apologize, Tiny. But yeah, you have to run 4 Gemhide. Because it makes all your Slivers tap for mana, and the more mana you can control, the more chance you have to pop that Door to Nothingness late game. And yes, that is what this deck strategy is built around, that Door to Nothingness. 2-headed Sliver basically gives all my Slivers Menace. What Menace means is it can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. I guarantee they're going to errad. They've eroded it to basically say all Slivers have Menace. This works late game, or game 2 especially works, especially when something in the sideboard. And I apologize if I sound like I repeat myself. It's a speech thing I have. I know. I can't help it. Those are the only cards we run full play sets of. For the next, we have 2 sets. We run 2 Quick Sliver. Gives all our Slivers flash. So basically, if you need to pop if you really need to pop a 2-headed Sliver in the middle of a battle phase, you can. If you need to pop a Gemhide or whatever, or a Might Sliver. Speaking of Might Sliver, you run 2 Might Sliver. It gets all Slivers +2/+2. So eventually, basically all your Slivers can eventually have +4/+4, and it's nice. With the green mana ramp from Gemhide and all the other Slivers that you get, this is something that I have in my deck. Yes, I would love to have full play sets of the 3 Slivers. There's 2 green and 1 white Sliver that give all Slivers +1/+1. I would love to have that. I would love to have Sliver Legion and Sliver Hive Lord. I don't have the money, and I don't want to go out and buy them. So if anybody wants to trade me for them, well, that's fine. I might put a binder update up here soon. I don't know. We'll see. 2 Bone Splitter Sliver gives all of your Slivers +2/+0 for 3 and a red. It's a 2/2. 2/2, so it gives itself... So it's basically, for 4 mana, it's a 4/2. And then finally, 2 Spined Sliver. Yes, this is for the Menace trigger. All Slivers get +1/+1 till end of turn for each creature blocking it. So all Slivers are going to get +2/+2 when you have this and a 2-headed Sliver out. Oh, it's just so disgusting. It's just... oh, yeah. And then, if you're able to pop... Let me see if I can find it in my... Here we go, in my sideboard. If if you have Revenge of the Hunted, yeah. Slivers get big. Slivers can get real big. Next to the one-ofs, we have one Fury Sliver, gives them all double strike. One Winged Sliver gives them all flying. Spinneret Sliver gives them all reach in case your Winged Sliver dies. Oops. One Muscle Sliver, and yes, I would love to have 4 more of these. All slivers get +1/+1. One Heart Sliver. All slivers have haste. And again, I apologize if this thing shakes because I'm recording this with my phone. So I do apologize. I'm trying to do this and I don't have a tripod for my phone. But continuing on, one Talon Sliver gives them all First Strike. One Essence Sliver gives them all Lifelink. And one Frenzy Sliver gives them all Frenzy 1. Basically, they get +1/+0 if they're not blocked. So, again, slivers get big. So, yeah. That's it for the creature spells. It's pretty much half of the non-land cards. Don't run any instances in the main, but as you saw, I do have some in the sideboard. Starting off with the 3s of the sorceries, I have a Tune with Aether. I get 2 energy counters and a basic land into my hand. This helps because I don't run that much basic land. I only run 20 land in this deck. 8 of the lands are rock farms and woodlands, so that helps tutor for the lands. And you're really not going to need to tutor for lands unless you really need a green or a white or a black or a blue or something. Then, because you have Gemhide, you have that mana ramp with Gemhide. Two Renegade Tactics. Target creature can't block this turn and you draw a card. Basically, this is for a menace trigger. If you attack your opponent early game with a 2-headed sliver, and your opponent has two creatures, before you start your battle phase and declare attackers, you play your Renegade Tactics. One of your opponent's creatures can't block. Well, your creatures can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, and they only have 1. Plus, you get to draw a card, and basically all your creatures are unblockable. It's just super disgusting, and I absolutely love it. I wish I had a full playset. Next, for more tutoring ability, we have 2 Diabolic Tutor, and yes, I do like to run 2, because you're going to want to search for this next card and your Door to Nothingness. The next card I'm talking about is Cruel Ultimatum. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, and loses 5 life. You return a creature from the graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. It's just super disgusting. Especially when there are so many combos that this deck can do. It's just ultra disgusting. And Slivers are one of those decks you do not want to let them sit there and boil and boil and boil and just cook and cook and cook and simmer and simmer and simmer, because ultimately they're going to Cruel Ultimatum you. They're going to Nicol Bolas Planeswalker you or Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh you. And it's disgusting when that happens, because you're just sitting there going, what the crap just happened? Only one enchantment in the main, it's Mana Flare. Whenever you tap a mana, it produces one additional of the same type. So basically, if I tap an island, it produces 2. So yeah, definitely mana ramp all day, every day. For more of the mana ramp, we have 3 Manalith, and yes, I do love the new art from Hour of Devastation. Tap, add 1 color of any mana to your mana pool. We run 3 because of the Door to Nothingness. More mana ramp and 1 Gilded Lotus. Add 3 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. With those 4, you have your Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh, your Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, your Nissa. Anything you want, you have. Especially in multiplayer games when you're sitting there simmering, you could just go blah, out onto the field. Coat of Arms, because this is a tribal deck. All your slivers are going to get +1/+1 for each other sliver you control. I'll give you a great example. If I have 1 Gemhide Sliver out on the field, and then I summon another Gemhide Sliver, and a Might Sliver, and let's just pretend this is a Manaweft Sliver and a Manaweft Sliver. So I'd have a Manaweft, a Might, 2 Gemhides. Well, my Might Sliver, okay, it gets +2/+2. It's a 4/4. 5/5, 6/6, 7/7. That's basically how Coat of Arms works, especially in tribal decks. If you are running a tribal deck and you are not running Coat of Arms, shame on you. You need to be running Coat of Arms in a tribal deck. It's just stupid not to run it. And it's when they share at least 1 creature type. So if you have a zombie wizard and a zombie cleric and a zombie minotaur, well, there's 3 zombies right there, so they're going to get +2/+2. So It's just stupidly disgusting when you have coat of arms, especially when you have your Spine Sliver and your Miracle Instant or Miracle Sorcery. It's just disgusting. And then last but not least, the Door to Nothingness strategy. Tap 2 of every color, tap it and sacrifice it. Target player loses the game. So very good on one-on-ones, especially if you can pull it off. Again, for the lands, I run 4 of the Golgari Rot Farm. Return a land I control to my hand and place this on the battlefield. It's great for 2-drop early, especially if I have a Woodland Stream. Tap a Woodland Stream or tap something, I don't know. But it's really good for your 1-drops early. I really would not use it with Woodland Stream because Woodland Stream comes into play tapped. Speaking of Woodland Stream, I play 4 of them. It's great for your blue mana, it's great for your green mana, but really it's there mainly for Cruel Ultimatum and your Nico Boluses. For the basic lands, I run 3 Forest, 3 Mountain, 2 Plains, 2 Islands, and 2 Swamps. And that basically creates the 61 card deck. I mean, just some of the frickin' combinations that you can pull off with this. They're just so super disgusting. Sideboard was kind of hastily thrown together, but it's a sideboard nonetheless. I run 1 Niss's Voice of Zendikar because mainly for its -2 ability. Yes, you could put a plant creature token into the battlefield. You can use it as a blocker. But it's -2, but put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And that's not till end of turn. That is permanent. So it's basically a coat of arms and a Planeswalker. Well, a mini coat of arms and a Planeswalker. I run 2 more Might Sliver in the sideboard, as well as 2 more Fury Sliver, just for those extra big creatures that you can get. For the extra +2/+2 and the extra double strike, because your bigger creatures are definitely going to get bolted and stuff, and it's something that you really need to watch out for your bigger creatures. 1 Battering Sliver gives them all trample, and especially when they get really big, you need the trample. 2 Quilled Sliver has tap. This creature does 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. So basically, let's say your opponent has a Sahaphran Commander. Okay. And you're attacking with your Battering Sliver. And let's say your Battering Sliver is a 10/10. You attack, they block. You can tap both. You can tap any 2 slivers, go, oh yeah, 2 damage to Sahaphran Commander. It doesn't block, it's dead. Battering Sliver goes through for 10. Or what have you, or whatever. It's really good versatility. I probably honestly should have it main because it is 1 white and 1, but it's sideboarded because it doesn't really conform to the strategy that I like and that I'm trying to make this deck run. And then finally 1 Fungus Sliver. Whenever it deals damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Again, probably should have that in the main, but I don't. For the instance, Fracturing Gust. Destroy, and this is mainly for my friend Mitch's artifact deck. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments, and I gain 2 life for each permanent destroyed this way. I gotta make sure I do it, though, before he gets Darksteel Forge out on the battlefield, or any indestructible artifact, because it doesn't say exile, it says destroy, and destroyed effects don't work with indestructible. Revenge of the Hunted, you can pay it for 4 and 2 green, or you can pay it for its miracle cost. If it's the first card you draw this turn, +6/+6 and trample, and all creatures block it. So, again, with Spine Sliver out on the field, +6/+6, let's say they have 10 creatures that equal 10 power. Boy, your creature gets +10/+10. All those creatures die. or let's say they equal 15 toughness. You're not going to kill them all. Unless you play Revenge of the Hunted. And that works really, and again, it works really well with Spine Sliver and Menace triggers. It's something, I have it in the sideboard just in case. I'm going to, yeah, a lot of things. A lot of things. I'm running an Otekra's Last Mercy just in case I go up against one of those decks that I really need to keep the game going, and I need to basically restart with my life total. Basically, my life total becomes 20 again. Imminent Doom, I'm running it as well. Probably not the best sideboard choice. Again, this sideboard was kind of hastily thrown together. I could probably run... There's definitely something better I can run, but figured I'd test Imminent Doom out just to see. I'm running one Sliversmith because if I pay one, discard a card, put a 1/1 Sliver artifact creature token named Metallic Sliver into play. That basically gives me more slivers, more mana, more blockers, more attackers, and whatnot. I'd probably run 2 Sliversmith in place of Imminent Doom. But yeah. And then 1 Dagger of the Worthy. And this is a placeholder. Until they create a sliver that gives all slivers afflict 1, 2, or 3. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has afflict 1. Basically, whenever it's blocked, defending player loses 1 life. So they need something called Affliction Sliver or something. Wizards, listen. Listen to the sliver players. Give us a sliver that has afflict and gives all slivers afflict. That would be fantastic. I would main board that. It could be blue, white, black. I don't care. I would main board it. But yeah, that's the sideboard. Yeah, tell me what you all think. Again, this isn't main. This is not a modern deck. This is not a standard deck. This is just a deck mainly built for fun. Yep, the use of 4 Planeswalkers. So tell me what you all think. I know it's been a while since I made a video, and I think my last one was one of my vlogs. So, yeah. Oh well, thank you guys for watching. You all have been awesome for sticking with me this long. Thank you so much. Quinn Charger Prime, out.